We came here to die, they said, and you will die with us.
More than 1,200 people, children, parents, and teachers were herded into the school's gym. Daria and her mother, like so many others, started running toward the school and were lost in a crowd of tears.
Your little sister is inside this school.
Yes.
All by herself.
Yes.
Her father's not with her. Her
No.
mother's not with her.
No.
And of course, you're not with her.
She's absolutely alone there.
Look for a moment at this gym, packed with children, parents, and teachers. Russian investigators believe 32 terrorists were in the school, including 2 women who wore belts loaded with explosives. These scenes are a remarkable testament to the pure evil of the men and women who took Beslan School number 1 hostage.
In the basketball hoop, there were 3 bombs taped up and one up on the backboard with wires leading to 2 more.
Sergei Urmanov, an electrical engineer, was in the gym with his wife and 6-year-old daughter, Zelina.
There were wires going to a pedal on the floor. One of the terrorists always had a foot on it. Detonation would occur if he took his foot off.
Did the terrorists ever tell you why they had taken you hostage?
They were telling us that they were fed up with the war in Chechnya.
Chechnya is a neighboring republic that has been in a war for independence from Russia for years. Tens of thousands of Chechens, including many children, have been killed. Zelina Zandarova, with her children, 2-year-old Alan and 6-year-old Alana, thought they would be killed.
When my children fell asleep, I would think, let it happen to them before they wake.
So you believed you weren't going to make it?
As the hours passed into the second day, the hostages were struggling to survive. Elena huddled with her son Timur.
We are about to show you something the world has never seen, not even Russian investigators. After the siege ended, some teenagers found a damaged cassette amid the rubble in this school. They wound the tape onto a new cassette and played it in a VCR. What they saw is video shot by the terrorists themselves inside the school during the second day of the crisis.
The bearded man is considered to be the commander of the terrorists. Survivors told us he was called the Colonel. His real name is Ruslan Kuchbarov. He's from Chechnya, the republic at war with Russia. The man you see here is on his way to negotiate with the colonel. His name is Aushev, Ruslan Aushev, a former Russian general and now politician. He was the only person to meet face-to-face with the terrorists.
I was met by 2 masked terrorists who took me inside the school. I have 4 children, and I imagined if my children were among the hostages. Everything should have been done to save these children.
Inside the school, Aushev was trying to save anyone he could.
He just promised me they will release the nursing babies.
Selina had no idea that Aushev had negotiated the release of babies and their mothers.
At first, when they allowed us to take the children out, we were overjoyed. And Alana was too. But at the entrance to the gym, another terrorist took Alana away from me and told me to go away. I said, I won't leave. I have a child here.
She was forced to choose. Take little Alan out to safety and leave Alana behind, or stay and risk losing both her children. With the colonel, and negotiator Aushef watching, the mothers painfully walked out the door. Each of these mothers was leaving an older child behind. One of those children can be heard off camera. "I want to go with Mama," she cries out.
What did you see in your daughter's eyes as you prepared to leave?
Fear, uncertain fear, not knowing what to do.
What did she say to you as you walked away?
Alana said, "Ma, where are you going?" When they grabbed her out of my arms, she got scared and cried.
Were you able to tell Ilana that you loved her before you left?
Yes. She said she loved me too.
One by one, this procession of distraught mothers left the building. This is Zelina, carrying Alan. In all, 11 mothers carried out 14 babies. At the last moment, a terrorist handed another baby to Aushef. The boy's mother just couldn't leave her older child behind.
The last baby. I carried him myself.
As Aushef left, the door was closed behind him.
The crisis is now in critical condition. Hundreds of school children are suffering from severe dehydration. Thousands of townspeople are demanding action, including more than 100 men dressed in camouflage who have brought weapons from their homes. The end of this horrific standoff begins with an explosion.
Me, my mom, and my grandma, we were standing on the street, and there was a big noise, and we didn't know what that was.
There was just a chorus of screams.
Photographer Dmitry Belyakov was just 50 yards away from the school, positioned on the 4th floor of this building with a Spetsnaz team.
And machine gunner in that corner.
Members of Russian Special Forces. Special Forces snipers started picking off the terrorists.
They just opened fire. They started firing at school.
After the second explosion, I saw a lot of children climbing over the windowsill. That gave me the idea to escape through the window.
Amid the chaos and confusion, Elena escaped from the school. During the shooting, Dmitry photographed this young girl who had been blown out of the gym.
And there was a silhouette of a child.
Disoriented, she first crawled and then climbed back inside.
She should run away. She should just go. And instead, she crawled back. In a few minutes, roof collapsed. And then I thought this would be it for the girl.
It took nearly 10 hours before all the shooting stopped. Hundreds of wounded children were being rushed to hospitals by family car or in a loved one's arms. There were nowhere near enough ambulances. Now began the agonizing search to see who lived or died.
Your little sister is in that building. At that moment, you don't know if she's dead or alive.
No, no one knows.
Daria Fadieva was desperately trying to learn if her little sister Alia had somehow survived the carnage.
We just running into local hospital, asking doctors where could she be, and there was no anyone who knew.
Then, Daria's cell phone rang.
Daria.
And when I heard her voice, oh God, I mean, that was just like she's calling me from heaven or something like that.
Alia had severe shrapnel wounds to her legs and back.
She said, inside I just wanted to see you and I was praying to see you again.
Zelina Zandarova searched through hospitals for her daughter Alana, but couldn't find her.
When I broke down in tears, one of our relatives came up to me and said, "Don't cry. Why are you crying? She's alive."
Hi, Alana. I'm Peter. It's nice to meet you.
Alana had escaped with some burns, and she told her mother it was one of the terrorists who had saved her.
He was saying that he was going to die anyway, and that God will not forgive him for what he was doing there.
Elena Kosimova's son, Timur, seen here sprinting to freedom, also survived. His physical wounds have healed. Emotionally, he is still on the mend.
He played only with toy guns, playing war for 1 whole month.
And this girl, who was blown out of the gym,
I was sure she was dead. I was absolutely sure.
after a 5-day search, photographer Dmitry Belyakov found her alive. She is 7-year-old Aida Sidakova.
I felt myself very, very happy. I took a little arm and I kissed it. I was very, very happy.
Did your sister come home?
No,
Where was she taken?
she was taken to the hospital in Moscow.
Alia has been recovering in a Moscow hospital But like all the people of Beslan, the girls are struggling to go on with their lives.
She says she's doing fine, but my mom says that she's having like headaches and she's still really weak.
September 1st used to be a joyous day. What will it be now?
That's probably never going to be a holiday ever again.
Will this city ever be the same?
Never.
Some of the lucky ones, if you can call them that, out of the 3 days that became a living hell. 330 people died at Beslan, 176 of them children. Peter Van Sant from America's CBS network with that report. Stay with us. Finance and weather details coming up next. Well, now to the finance news, and there's further consolidation in the beer industry with the owner of Forex launching a bid for South Australian rival Coopers. With the details, business reporter Karen Cho.
Trans-Tasman giant Line Nathan has moved to shore up its dominance of the local beer sector with a $352 million off-market tilt at Coopers. Line has an extensive stable of brands including Forex and Tui's, but will face a fight to secure Coopers, the country's last family-run brewery, dating back more than 140 years.
I'd hope that most South Australians would focus, as I do, on one fantastic, sustainable South Australian brewing business into the future, with the Coopers brand very much at the centre of it.
Line says it was approached by shareholders of the unlisted company, but not all investors are keen to sell.
Any example such as that is a disaster, and we really feel that the important thing is that our shareholders should take no action until they've heard back from the board.
And good news for homeowners, with long-term interest rates likely to remain steady. 10-year bonds dropped below 5% to their lowest level in 2 years. Soaring petrol is acting like an interest rate hike. Another wave of increases is due after disruptions from Hurricane Katrina. Weak demand has also cut manufacturing orders and production.
They're causing the consumer to redirect their spending away from discretionary areas like retail and department stores and a whole lot of manufacturing goods towards paying for their higher petrol prices.
Coles Myer added $600 million to its market value after South African retailer Edcon signalled its interest in Myer department stores. The approach expected to flush out rival suitors. Meanwhile, rival Woolworths has given boss Roger Corbett a pay rise, enabling him to earn up to $9 million before he moves to a consultancy role next year. The All Ords surged 46 points, Coles Myer leapt 48 cents, and Caltex gained after averting industrial action. But QBE fell on fears about its exposure to Hurricane Katrina, and Flight Centre eased after the departure of its chief executive. And that's all in finance.
Now to the weather details, and here is Janie Seal.
Hello there. Some chilly overnight temperatures underneath the high, especially if you have no cloud about. As we move into Friday afternoon, Queensland and New South Wales will have some unstable weather, and it should increase the rain and storm activity for that region thanks to that low pressure system. Inland WA and South Australia also in for some rainfall with that trough line. Onshore winds starting to bring showers along the eastern coastline. Let's have a look at those temperatures for Friday. Late storms in Brisbane, 24 degrees. A few showers mainly for Sydney's coastline with the help of those sou'easters, and certainly a few showers over in Perth. 18 the top. Now the wet weather will move in towards the evening for Hobart and Adelaide. Waking up to showers in Sydney for the start of your weekend. Some evening showers in Canberra and a few splashes about for Adelaide. 18 the top there. And Sunday could be a day to play indoors for Sydney with rain expected. Perth a few showers and cloudy but fine all weekend. Up top in Darwin 32 degrees.
Paul Fatty Borton rejoined the NRL Footy Show fold tonight after 10 weeks sick leave. Borton caught up with work colleagues behind the scenes before being reunited with a passionate league audience. He suffered severe concussion after falling from a truck while filming a segment for the program.
Thank you very, very much, everyone here, and it's been a long time coming, but I never thought at times I would get back, but here I am 10 weeks later after a nasty accident, and geez, I've missed you, Blokes. I have missed you,
We've missed you too, Fatty, and that's Nightline for now. Our next bulletin is in the Today Show from 6 o'clock. We'll leave you with pictures of a mum and her baby enjoying themselves in Western Australia. I'm Ellen Fanning. Good night.